What's going on, guys? It's Jeff4 Matt had his Reef, and today we're going to be taking a look at bending PVC pipe. Alright guys, if this is your first time being here, this is where I talk about everything saltwater aquarium related. So if you love saltwater aquariums like I do, hit that subscribe button in the face. Alright guys, so when you're working with PVC piping and heating it up, you want to make sure that you're using safety precautions. You definitely want to make sure that you're wearing gloves, and you also want to make sure that you are wearing safety glasses. The second part of doing this, you're going to need a heat gun. I've seen people use hair dryers. They must be really awesome hair dryers. Because any hair dryer that I've ever used, and if you guys can tell by my haircut, which is limited, a hair dryer isn't enough to do this project. So I am using a heat gun, and I picked this heat gun up at Harbor Freight Tools. Now I know what you're thinking right off the bat. Harbor Freight Tools isn't known for having the best products, but I gotta tell you, this is one of the best things that I've ever gotten from Harbor Freight Tools. And originally I picked it up to use with shrink tubing, but I've also used it to pull out dents on vehicles as well as bending PVC piping. So some of the reasons that you may want to bend PVC piping is based mostly around aquarium plumbing. And the benefit of doing your own bends in your PVC piping, creating your own fittings and things of that nature, it can save you a lot of money, because PVC piping alone is relatively cheap. What's not cheap is all the fittings, the elbows, the connections. They can cost a lot more, almost, well, substantially more than the piping itself. So in your aquarium plumbing ventures, getting comfortable with bending PVC piping can actually benefit you quite a bit. So right here I worked on one spot for about, I don't know, 2 minutes or so, and what I'm doing here is I'm creating maybe like a 45-degree bend. So if you needed to, get water from one point to another, yet it wasn't directly lined up, this is where a 45-degree bend would benefit you. The coloration of the piping is going to change a little bit, at least it has for me. I don't know if it's because I'm heating it too fast or what have you, but you could paint that if it bothers you. Now we're going to take this 45-degree bend that we've put into the PVC pipe and make a full U shape, which would be something that you'd use in a overflow. So once you have the mold the way that you would like it, it's time to hold it in place. And it usually takes about 30 seconds for that pipe to cool down enough to the point where it's actually going to hold its form. But as you can see, this is a really awesome way to make yourself some U-pipe for your overflows if the one that you have becomes damaged or you're working on a completely do-it-yourself overflow system. So next we're going to be working on creating a connection between a return pump and the return piping to a series of aquariums. This is a part of a quarantine system that I've been working on, which I'm going to be doing a video on here in the next couple of weeks. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're not a subscriber, make sure you hit that button just to keep you up to date on all the projects that I'm working on. If you are a subscriber, make sure you hit that bell, because what that's going to do when that video drops, it's going to give you the notification that that video is available to watch. So right here what I'm doing is I'm taking the PVC piping that I'm going to be using for the return plumbing and heating it up so I can fit it onto the return pump. I went to the store. I had a hard time actually finding a appropriate size that would work for me. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and heat up the piping to the point where I could
fit it onto the return pump and create a watertight connection. And what I was looking for when I was heating it up was the pipe itself to start cupping. It almost opened up like a flower a little bit at the end once the heat was, or it was heated to the point where I could actually do it. And it was pretty easy to get that on there. All I did was spin it around the top till it actually started to come down, and I pushed it down as far as I possibly could. The key point here is making sure that you twist the piping as it goes on to whatever you're connecting it to, because what that's going to do is it's not going to melt to that plastic. It's going to be able to be removed if you absolutely need it to. So here is another benefit to working with PVC piping. You can do a lot more with it, especially when you're heating it, to get that more customized overall plumbing that you're looking for in your saltwater aquarium builds.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you want to support more videos like this, please visit my Patreon link down below. And if you found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time right here with a brand new video.
I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you.